Hello students, today we are going to study the 7th chapter from the first flight, which is the textbook in English for class 10. The name of the chapter is Glimpses of India. This chapter, Glimpses of India, highlights the rich diverse cultures prevailing in the different regions of India. Children, the first part of this chapter deals with the region of Goa. Today, we will be discussing this first part, which is A Baker from Goa. Its author is Lucia Rodrigues. About the author. Lucia Rodrigues was an outstanding Konkani essayist. He wrote several articles in English and Konkani for various periodicals and magazines. As a prolific essayist, he contributed to various newspapers such as the Nav Hind Times, the Times of India, Goa Today, etc. He also served as a professor of English in Mumbai and Goa. His essays were posthumously published under the title of Soil and Soul and Konkani Folk Tales. Subtle humor and informal narration are the essential features of his writings. Brief introduction to the lesson. A Baker from Goa is a pen portrait of a traditional Goan village baker who still enjoys an important place in society. In fact, the central theme of this lesson revolves around the importance of the traditional Goan village baker in the Goan society. Goa, which is situated about 400 kilometers to the south of Mumbai, remained under the Portuguese rule until 1961. Goa enjoyed the varied cultures of the French, English, and the Portuguese. This lesson gives us an insight into the strong influence of the Portuguese culture on the lifestyle of the common people in Goa. It also gives us a glimpse of the changes that took place in the life of the Goan baker with the passage of time. Children, the author Lucia Rodrigues is himself the narrator of this lesson. The lesson begins with nostalgia of how the narrator's elders often recalled the time when Goa was under the rule of the Portuguese. They often talked about the importance of bakers in their village even after the Portuguese had left. Although with the passage of time, the people now living in Goa do not eat so much of bread, yet these bakers continue to serve the people of Goa with their famous bread loaves, which they prepare in their age-old time-tested furnaces, which even today still exist. The family tradition of the baker's business is still being carried on by the younger generation. The sound of the traditional baker's bamboo stick announcing his arrival in the mornings can still be heard in some places. These bakers, even today in Goa, are known as paddle. The author further recalls that during his childhood in Goa, a baker used to visit his village at least twice a day. He remembers the baker as being his friend, companion, and guide. The jingling thud of the baker's bamboo used to wake him up, and he used to run to meet him to buy his favorite bread bangles. The author says that he still recalls the fragrance of those loaves. He says that he used to be so eager to eat them that he never cared to brush his teeth or wash his mouth before eating them. In those days, it was a fashion to eat bread with hot tea. The baker carried a basket on his head. He also carried a bamboo with him. He made the peculiar jang jang sound by banging his bamboo on the ground. With one hand he supported the basket of bread on his head, and with the other hand he struck the ground with the bamboo, making that peculiar sound. This he did to make the people aware of his presence in their neighborhood. His arrival was welcomed both by the elders and the children. Whenever someone came to him to buy bread, the baker placed the basket on the bamboo stick. The author further points out the importance of the village baker in Goa. He says that the baker is an indispensable part of the Goan life. No party, marriage, or any religious ceremonies could be thought of without the presence of a baker. Marriage gifts are meaningless without the sweet bread known as bol. Christmas and other festivals and occasions like engagements are incomplete without cake, bolognese, and sandwiches. Thus, the baker's furnace is extremely essential in every village. The author also mentions about the peculiar dress worn by the baker or the bread seller in the good old Portuguese days. This dress was known as the cabai. The cabai was a single-piece long frock reaching down to the knees. But the narrator remembers the bakers wearing a shirt and trousers. The trousers worn by them were shorter than full-length ones and longer than half pants. He further says that even today, if anyone in Goa wears a half pant which reaches just below the knees, he is said to be dressed like a baker. Towards the end, the narrator mentions that baking indeed was a profitable business in those good old Portuguese days. The plump physique of the baker showed that they were well off. Their families never starved. They looked happy and prosperous. The baker usually collected his bills at the end of the month. His monthly accounts were to be recorded on some wall in pencil. At the last, the narrator mentions that even today, any person with a jackfruit-like appearance is compared to a baker. With this, children, we come to the end of this lesson, A Baker of Goa. Hope you all have understood it. Thank you.